Hi.
Hi.
Rossana Mercado-Rojas. Welcome back. This is the second time that you're part of artistic undressings of the Royal Seaport at the market. And this is the water market.
Yes.
And you're an artist.
Yes.
What are you doing here today?
Well, I'm just for a second time here, and this time having a station where I'm reflecting on water and the access to it and the inequality of how we perceive water living here and where I come from, in Peru. So reflecting on these ideas, or why do we have less access to water or less possibilities to enjoy water in all this, in all its forms, like not just as a resource, but also as a landscape or everything. So this is what I'm doing in my station there. I have some readings, and I have installed around the tree like a yunza, an Andean festivity that is done on the raining months. So we have different items that we can talk about along the day.
You are installing a traditional ritual here at Strömparterren, right? What is that ritual called? Where you're from, and when is it usually performed? And maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Yes. It's not a ritual. It's a celebration, a festivity that is very, I could say, contemporary in that sense. I mean, it's indigenous community tradition, and my family is from the Andes, so my family used to celebrate a lot of this form. It's called yunza, which is a celebration around the tree that happens in the rain months, that usually in Peru is in January. And people gather around the tree and they dance, they drink, and they go around, and then they cut the tree. But before, they decorate the tree with presents, with items for the house, with money, with balloons and everything. So it's a celebration, and in a symbolic way, it's like the tree is like a male form, and then it goes back to the Pachamama, to the earth, to the female form. And when they cut this tree, they need to choose a tree that needs to be cut somehow for age or something, and they plant another one or two other ones that's different. So actually I installed the things here in that way, also because I like this celebratory festive thing, also to talk about heavy issues.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
And you've also installed a map of South America from a perspective we're not usually see it in.
Yes, actually that's another reason that I installed around the tree in the yunza, in a yunza celebratory way, because now this celebration has been forbidden in Lima, in the capital, in a lot of districts, because they say it brings too much chaos, which reminds me of these views on the indigenous communities, that they are savages, that they are ignorant, that they are somehow like this. And this view is not something that stayed 500 years ago. This is a view that it's happening until now, and indigenous communities struggle to protect the land, to protect their views, their culture, everything. So actually that's why I also got inspired by this book, Open Veins of Latin America, by Galeano, the Uruguayan writer, to have this view of the map, not necessarily as an Eurocentric view, but what if things were the other way around. That's why I introduced a little bit the project to have this abundance of water around you, like when we were in Sweden, in contrast of how we have it in Peru, and we are supposed to have so much resources, but we don't have access to water. So, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the extraction and exploitation of water and what that means to the communities residing in cities and in the countryside.
Yeah,
The division between water and cities and landscape.
Yes, right now, actually, considering the access to water and sanitation, for example, in the cities like Lima, where it's completely centralized, because there has been a lot of huge waves of internal migration from the Andes and the Amazons to Lima, so it's the most populated city. It's like incredibly, the difference between Lima and the other cities is very high, so a lot of the population is concentrated in Lima. And half the people don't have access to water 24 hours. And the water that we received, we cannot drink directly from the tap, because the main sources for that water are two rivers that are highly contaminated by mining, by pollution, and this mining is usually these companies are from rich countries, that they do have clean water, they do have clean air, they do have good health for their people, but all our natural resources are completely polluted. And now that has an extremely high impact on health, on your everyday life. And of course now under this pandemic, it has showed up completely, because a lot of young people are dying, and a lot of problems that are not supposed to be the regular happening, because people have faced this pandemic with a health that is not what you should expect from the place in the world that has the Amazonas. Yeah.
The abundance of water, the division of it is exploited to the extent that it has detrimental effects on people of Andean descent. Understand.
And also in Lima itself, like the people who have running water, it's cheap because you have running water every day and you have sanitation and everything. But the people who don't have running water, they need to pay almost 5 times extra to be able to have water contained. So it's just and usually the people who live in the outskirts of the city are mainly people from Andean or Amazonical roots. So they're first wave or second wave immigrants from the Andes or the Amazon. So that makes also a huge difference in life quality.
Thank you.
Thank you.